Okay, thank you very much for that, Andre. So we're going to move on to the next talk now, and we're hopefully back on schedule for the live stream. This is coming from Prague, Czech Republic, and we have a studio audience here as well, so looking forward to hearing something from them. If you have any questions as well from the live stream, then you can post them in the Telegram channel. But to move on to the next presentation, it's going to be Justyna Broniszewska and Bartek Rutkowski talking about building multi-chain DApps.
Okay, the mic is on. GM, everyone. Can we get the slides? Thank you.
GM Prague, welcome to our presentation. My name is Justyna Broniszewska, and this is Bartek Rutkowski. And today we will tell you about building multi-chain, multi-layered DApps.
So, what could possibly be hard about building DApp frontends in general? Well, apparently there are several hard things. So to start with, we have like many different tools that are battle-tested, very well known. Everyone works with them, but they come from Web 2. So they solve Web 2 problems, not necessarily all of the Web 3 problems, and many of these we have. So first thing is that the core of the Web3 app is almost always the user's wallet and his account. And before he connects to that, we need to show something. Usually we see apps that show nothing, only a large connect wallet button and nothing else. That's a problem that we need to solve. Also, we need to always show the fresh state of the app. So the state of the app changes each block. So it's like 15 seconds or even faster. And our app needs to follow that, needs to update all the time everything, while at the same time, we need to keep the number of requests in check, right? If we have like an API key that we pay for, and we wanna now fetch like hundreds of different data points of different smart contracts, we can spam API very easily, and the app will be very hard to operate. And also we need to gracefully handle switching wallets. So do not refresh everything, but refresh some of the things. And do that immediately. And the same with switching networks. And then we also need to track transactions. So we send transaction, then it's pending, then sometimes it's successful or it fails, or we just fail to send it, or the MetaMask rejects it. And also we cannot lose that context and the history of these transactions. So we can show notifications, we can show all the history, even if user is changing the tab or like going somewhere else in the app, and yeah, so quite cumbersome.
Yeah, so we had all these problems, and we were, repeating all over again the same scheme of the app and of application. And then we decided that okay, let's create a library, and we created UseDApp. And it's a framework for rapid DApp development, and it supports Ethereum and all EVM-compatible blockchains.
So if you hear framework, then you probably think, yeah, right, so we had React, Angular, Vue, and now there is something else that's like Web3 native. Well, not. Completely, that's not the case. So UseDApp is just a set of utilities that operate on top of the React framework. So you can easily continue using the Web2 tools that you know, but with native Web3 support. And also, UseDApp works with Ethers, Web3 React, and Waffle, so the usual tools that Web3 developer on the front end might use.
Yeah, so let me go quickly through all these features we have, and then we can dive deep into them. So we have connection management, reading blockchain state efficiently. We handle easily transactions. We have multi-layer support, and also built-in support for type chain.
So if you are not a JavaScript type of guy, but type chain type of guy, it's here for you.
Exactly. So as for the connection, we have read-only mode out of the box built in. We have also like network switching and handling multiple networks like layer 2 and layer 1. So let's go to an example. So to start using UseDApp, you just need to wrap your application with DApp provider. And DApp provider needs config. So you need to pass config, and it could be as simple as that, like with only 2 parameters. And one very important parameter is this link to, say, Infura in this example. So your application will work with in read-only mode for mainnet in this example. So here we have an example of connecting a wallet. You all probably, if you develop applications in React, you probably know hook paradigm, and we also use it. And you can see use ithers. It's like main function of UseDApp, and it can give you all these helpers that we have. And in this example, we use this use ithers function for getting activate browser wallet and account. So account is actively connected, actually connected account, and it's just a string. It's just an address of this account. And activate browser wallet is a function that you need to call to connect to MetaMask. So the code is very easy. We have only like 2 lines to connect to wallet and then display balance of Ether balance. And here another example of how we can get Ether balance. And the first line is just for read-only state. So we can just get Ether balance of anything. And in this case, it's just a staking contract. And then we call use ethers to get account address. And then in the 4th line, we just call use ether balance with this account that is connected. And then in the following lines, we just display it to user. So let's see if this video will work. But you can see this application. This is in read-only mode. And when I start it, then not like this, maybe like this.
No.
Not like this? Okay, so yeah, maybe someone from the backstage can help us with displaying this video. Okay, so probably you need to trust us that this works. So when you when you click connect button, then you will see the address. Okay, maybe I need man's help.
Oh no, sorry.
Not like this. So it worked on our computers. Probably every developer heard that. Okay, so yeah, and when you click connect button, then you will see address and then balance. Okay, let's go to another example. Yes, so about reading blockchain state. Yeah?
I'm only gonna add that the thing that you can imagine that happened on the video was that not only after connecting the wallet, it displayed the balance and the address, but also then we went into the MetaMask and changed the network, and immediately the state was updated to view the balance on the other network, and when we changed the wallet, it also automatically changed the wallet that was connected to the other one and displayed the new balance.
Exactly, and this is how we can actually read the blockchain state, and UseDApp helps you because it refreshes like the state on each new block. It also refreshes on every wallet change, and additionally, like all these calls are combined into one single call, and it's done by via multi-call. So you won't spam any API with too many calls because it's just one single call.
There's also another important aspect of using the multi-call, because if you imagine yourself making 10 calls, 20 calls, or 100 calls within the lifespan of like one block, so within like 15 seconds, it's possible that some of the calls will arrive to the node at block X, and some of the calls are gonna arrive and gonna be resolved at the block X+1. So the state might change, and you will get an inconsistent state of the app. This is an important reason to use a multi-call, so then all these like hundreds of calls potentially are gonna be combined into like one API request, and all of them are gonna be we can be 100% sure that they're gonna be resolved at the same block, and the state is gonna be 100% consistent all the time.
Because it's just one call. Okay, so we have another example. Actually, that's the same example. I mean, the code hasn't changed, but what changed, we just
Was
sent
the demo.
yeah, was the demo. We wanted to send here a transaction. So actually, yeah, this is what happens what you can see after we connect our wallet. So we have this account, and then our balance is displayed. But right now, let's try it again. Maybe this button.
This time it's gonna work.
No, maybe you can help us with displaying this, starting this video. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, so let me describe what should happen. So we have MetaMask opened, and then we send a transaction to someone else, and then right after this transaction is successfully mined, and we can see it in MetaMask, our balance changes. So we don't need any additional code. So this is still the same code we had previously, but it just updates.
And what's important, we don't refresh the whole DOM of React. We only refresh this one particular component that displays the user balance, and it's not like heavy on computation.
Exactly. Yeah, so we can also not only read Ether balance, we can actually call any smart contract. And here we have an example of very well-known ERC20 token balance. So of course, ERC20 interface is always the same, should be. And we created all these helpers for ERC20 or different known contracts. And here, you can use it, of course, but here is an example how you can create your own helpers for your smart contracts, because they can be different, right? So, but I won't dive into that. Yeah, so let's talk about transactions. So we can track transaction state, we can have history and notifications. So let's go to examples. So here is an example of how to send Ether. You just need to call use send transaction function, and then it will return you state and send transaction. Send transaction is just a callback that you need to call with transaction parameters, and state is the state of the transaction you sent. So here are different states. We have non-mining, success, fail, and exception. We have another demo video. Okay, we can do anything, so I will just describe what should happen, and we can show you after presentation on our computer because we have it as well. Yeah, so right here we just click this button send, and actually under this button send we have this sending transaction called, and then you should probably see you would see on this video, we have this state of this transaction. So as soon as you click send, it's like
First, there's gonna be MetaMask.
Yeah, of course. First MetaMask, sending, confirmation, etc. And then after we send this transaction, we have mining state. So it's like our transaction is in the mempool. And then we have also this notification from use notifications. And right after is successfully mined, we have status success. And also we have a notification about that. Yeah. The same we can do with smart contracts iterations. So we just simply call use contract function with contract that you probably know from Ethers library. And then you need to pass another parameter is contract, like the function name you would like to call. And here are like withdraw and deposit functions. And additionally, we also have state returned from use contract function, and then this send callback that you need to call if you want to provide this function. And another demo we wanted to show you. So here we just send our Ether to wrapped Ether, and then we wrap our Ether, and you can see also balances. So right after we wrap our Ether, then our balance will, if balance will decrease, and then wrapped Ether will increase. And additionally, we also have these states here and notifications. Yeah, so the final, the feature we all came here for is multi-chain support, multi-layer support. So let me show you the example of how to do that. So here we just can call for ether balance on 3 different chains. So to do that, you just need to pass additional argument, which is chain ID in this case. And here we have like mainnet, Arbitrum, and zk-sync testnet, like all these different balances displayed in one view.
Yeah, so without changing anything, you can read from multiple chains at the same time, but in order to write to a particular chain, you need to switch to that chain, like for example in MetaMask, so the transaction is going to be signed and prepared properly. So you can use the switch network utility, and then whenever you wish to send transaction to a particular network, you can use that function, and then you can, for example, check whether the chain ID you are currently connected to is correct, and if not, then you enforce the network switch, the MetaMask pop-out will appear, and will change the network.
Yeah, so you can see that you just need to check whether the chain currently, like active chain ID, is different than mainnet, then you need to just enforce user to just switch network.
Yeah. So we can imagine, for example, like one slide even before, that you have like 3 different pools deployed on 3 different chains, and then when you click deposit, you check whether this pool is on the network that you are currently connected to, and if not, then it's gonna switch the chain automatically and send the transaction. Also, like using the transaction history, super easy, using the notification as well. Yeah, recommend to checking out the documentation for details. And one more important thing about the use contract function call is that it doesn't only return you, doesn't only allow you to perform the transaction and doesn't only return you the state, but also is capable of returning you the array of events that were emitted during that particular transaction execution. So you do not need to, after the transaction is processed, somehow call the node to check what events were emitted in that like particular block in that particular transaction. You just get the array of the events right away, and no pain, no additional effort attached to that, and it can be really hard sometimes. We have a bunch of other goodies that can help you develop the most powerful app possible. So gas prices, block metadata, Explorer links, everything already baked into the library.
We support all this, as I said before. We support all EVM-compatible blockchains, Ethereum, mainnets, testnets, layer 2s, Binance, etc. But the nice thing about that is that we can support your own chain as well. So we can do it in 2 different ways. So you can just set up UseDApp in your application as you want with your own chain. But additionally, you could create a pull request in our repo and then add your chain to our support chains. And of course, it will just very easy pull request. It's just like 10 lines or something like that. So if you would like to do that, just go to our documentation and see how you can do that.
Yeah, and there is also another feature which is super important in my opinion, which is the browser plugin. So the browser plugin for UseDApp works for Mozilla and Chrome for now, and it tracks under the hood events. So not the events that were emitted on the blockchain, but events that happen at the core of the UseDApp. Also manages ABIs and DAGs. And this is how this is what the plugin looks like. So you can see the tab that it's the UseDApp plugin, and on the left you can see the list of all the stuff that happened in the application. So you see that the mainnet network was connected, that then the network was changed to Kovan, that the account was connected, there was new block mined, there was another network change. All of that with a timestamp, you can easily debug your application. You can see what was exactly happening. And that makes developing extremely easy. And what's next? So we recently released UseDApp 1.0. So we consider UseDApp to be somehow feature complete at this point. We see it as a whole. Though we are, of course, working on it all the time. So right now we are working on optimizing the RPC requests even more. We are working on more flexible, more powerful, and more advanced config as multi-chain support is the thing that we want to improve even more. But if you have any ideas, any feature requests, there is anything that you thought that you're gonna hear about, but we somehow skipped this, then feel free to talk to us. We are open for any external contributions. We are open for resolving any issues. You can start with UseDApp today by just scanning the QR code, which will lead you to the page where you will find documentation, sandbox, examples, descriptions, Discord link, everything that you need.
Yeah. So thank you guys for today. Thank you for hearing our presentation. We are happy to answer any questions you have. If you want to do it right now, or if you want to just text us, just feel free. These are our handles: Twitter, Telegram, whatever you prefer. Thank you. We have questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Stand up, and we also have a microphone for the questions so that the people on the live stream can also hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, or just the browser?
Yes, so currently you can actually, like, UseDApp works for React applications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just the browser, not React Native.
Probably if you set up it with React Native, it should work, in my opinion. That's what I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, we weren't trying this explicitly, but I don't see any reasons why it shouldn't work.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions? We have maybe some questions from the live stream. I have some questions as well, but anyone from the audience? Okay, so I have a question. So you talk about how you're open to contributions, pull requests, raising issues, fixing issues. Can you talk a bit more about the kinds of developers you'd be looking for? Like, are they, what level in the stack would be
Yeah,
the
so
right people to contribute, or
actually,
anywhere?
You can be contributor wherever your experience is, right? So, like, you can just read our documentation and see a typo there and decide, okay, I will open a pull request and then fix that, right? So we are open to any kind of contribution.
Yeah, and we really mean that because, for example, adding a new EVM-compatible network is a dead easy pull request, and we are happy to merge such a pull request, while still like some, I don't know, like heavy optimizations on the calls level is like hard stuff, and if you want to work on that, then you are also welcome. Probably JavaScript knowledge might be necessary, but other than that, I think there are no requirements.
Yeah, and currently we are like having some issues from community, and we are like
yeah,
fixing
constantly
them.
working on them. So maybe if you wanna help with resolving them, then you're welcome as well.
Yeah.
Okay, then I have one more question, which is, how does your project contribute to Solarpunk? It's a bit of a broad question, but Solarpunk is one of the themes for this event. Can you think about how your project connects with the Solarpunk concept?
Yeah, so I think it connects with both the Solarpunk and the concept of the hackathon as well. Because imagine if you have like an idea or a proof of concept to build, then you don't want to spend that much time on creating the low-level stuff. This is the thing that helps you spin up the applications super fast. So you only focus on the smart contract part, on the core like idea, and you do not need to dive too deep into like the technical details. So if there's anything that you want to test, if there's anything that you want to show to people, then probably this is like the easiest way of having something bootstrapped and working within like hours or minutes.
Yeah, even minutes.
Okay, I believe we have a question at the back. Nice, please stand up, thank you.
I really enjoyed your presentation and I like the project, but I was really wondering if you guys were making a Vue.js version as well.
Vue.js, I'm not sure. Does anyone use Vue.js in Web3?
So someone,
Okay,
of course,
someone.
does.
Okay. Yeah,
that's,
maybe. I mean, like, if you use like Vue.js, maybe you could be a contributor and help us support Vue.js. That would be great. But
yeah, I would put it like this. We ourselves mostly use React, so we know exactly how React works, like deep under the hood, and we were able to like to go to like a very low level of React to integrate everything like really smoothly.
to use the best from React.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm not sure if we would be able to do that with Vue because we don't have that advanced knowledge of Vue. But I guess if there is someone willing to work on the Vue version and sees, the possibility of adapting UseDApp idea to the Vue paradigm, then we are super happy to talk about this and work on that as well.
Okay. Do you have any more questions?
Okay, then I think that maybe wraps it up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.